This is Lights, and you're watching Bring the Noise. You know, you look back at moving around so much, and it's really hard to pinpoint a place that affected you as much as in comparison to how much the fact that you moved around shaped you, you know, and the foundation that you build with your family and the ability to spend time with your family. I was homeschooled, so I had the chance to learn music. You know, every Tuesday my dad would teach us music, and we spent the day being passionate about music and reciting poetry in front of a camera and learning how to be on a camera. You know, they actually had us do these things. So that became the advantage. It wasn't so much about where we were, but it was the fact that we were able to stick together as like a unit and reap the benefits of that, I guess. But that being said, I mean, I was raised in the Philippines and in Jamaica, so I think the outlook that I got from seeing those things at a young age probably just, I don't know whether it made me more appreciative for what I have or see things on a bigger scale, but I'm thankful I had that experience. It definitely contributed in some way. It's hard to pinpoint where. It came from a few different places that kind of big influence. One of the first major ones and long-standing is my dad. I mean, he's the one who originally started teaching me music, and he didn't teach me to know about music. He taught me to feel music. So he taught me how to learn by ear and play by ear and thusly write and be instinctive about it. And that's kind of when I started writing. Beyond that, I mean, even to this day, I've known my manager, Gian Gameshi, for about 10 years now. And he stood by me and he recognized what I had when I was 15. And he's kind of like, you know, whatever direction you go in, I'll stand by you. And he's just kind of a great teammate to bounce things off of and be like, this is great, this isn't, you know, here's what we think we should do, and we kind of like plan our next trajectory together. So I mean, we're a great team, and he's definitely one of those people that has allowed me to have the career that I need and that I want, you know, because he's that person that's there for me. So and he was a drummer in a band before called Moxie Fruvis, and now he interviews people on this great show in Canada called Q. So he sees it from all angles, and it's just a great person to have in your life. You know, I'm very fortunate to have him. And on a completely separate scale, like, gaming is a really big inspiration to me because it's an escape, and I get inspired a lot by it. And I mean, taking computer science, so I can learn kind of the background worlds of that, and maybe someday create an RPG that's music based or something. But you know, sitting there, being able to talk to fans in World of Warcraft, to like losing yourself for 4 hours in Skyrim. Fantasy art was a big influence on the new record, Siberia. Clyde Caldwell, he did stuff from Magic the Gathering. These kind of things like bring you to another world, and that's like priceless. I know, right? I wish that they would. I mean, I advocate Blizzard and Warcraft more than probably Chuck Norris has ever spent playing on it. But I don't know if Blizzard's watching this. I want an ad. It was a hard night. It was a really hard night. We were playing in London, Ontario, and I got off stage to an email that said my character had been not only taken away from the server, but transferred to Horde, and it costs money to do both those. So someone else's credit card number was there, and at the time I was recovering from a tattoo I had just gotten, which is essentially of the Alliance King Varian, and they had paid to transfer my character over to Horde. So I logged into the game, and strangely my password's still there, and I was like an orc on some other server in like some other starting territory. It was like very traumatizing. So I kind of lost my crap for a bit, and Blizzard CS was really good about getting it really back quickly within 24 hours, but it was very traumatizing. And I had to, you know, like just recently I got back into my own guild. When I got the Juno, it was kind of like, as opposed to feeling pressure, I felt approved, kind of. It was just kind of like, I had only had the EP out at the time, and it was just kind of like all these great music minds across Canada being like, you're doing good, like, keep going. So it more than anything kind of gave me that boost to just keep going and keep doing what I'm doing. And I hope, and it's kind of one of those things you don't want to let them down, and you want to do your best, and they're kind of recognizing that you're doing a good job, and you keep going. I never really felt any pressure. I mean, maybe I probably should have, but it was more of just a big pat on the back. It was amazing. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's nice that you can follow up on that Best New Artist thing. And the thing that's really funny about the pop album nomination is the record is so different. It's a really different sounding record, and it really, as far as I'm concerned, it slips out of the pop category with the collaboration with Holy Fuck and having Shad on the record. It's just not, for me, it's a different thing now, especially the shows. So to be nominated in that category, it's very open-minded of them, which is awesome. Feels really cool. Oh, harshest life lesson. You're stumping me here. I mean, I learn a lot of things as I go. One of the little things that always come back to bite you is like little white lies. I'm the worst liar. And for some reason, I incessantly, like, every now and then assume it's going to be okay. And you say, well, and it always comes back. And you get into this big network of lies. And you have to get yourself out of it. It's really embarrassing. So if I had to, like, form this into some advice, don't do anything that you have to hide. So it's going to come back. It was perfect, actually. He had fortune cookies made. Cracked open the fortune cookie, and there it was. It was pretty sweet. The way our lives are right now, very tour-centric and music-centric, and that becomes what your life's about, and your life's planned out for the next 5 months. Life's not going to change too much, at least as it stands, you know? I mean, I think in a spiritual dynamic or something, things are changing. But the way that you're living your life on a daily basis, you're still going to be touring, you're still going to be... And it just makes it, I guess, kind of easier being married. You know? It's hard to say. I'm not married yet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's certainly going to be an opportunity because we'll be married. But I do know that there's tons of couples that swear by not doing things together. It does create a tension, for sure. Not a tension, but a tension. Although it would create a tension. That's not tangent, though. Oh. Wow. Who knows? Not ruling it out, but we'll see. I take, like I was saying, I'm taking computer science classes, so it's definitely, I mean, I'm home for a day and I'm doing an exam, so it's a lot to fit into the cracks, learning how to program. And I do paintings as well. I release kind of pop art, comic style paintings, and I'm working on a bunch of stuff that's unreleased so that I can ultimately maybe someday have an art show or something. And it's good to exercise art in different ways and your creativity in other ways and keeps the music fun and fresh, you know. Always excited about it. I hope so. I mean, the funny thing is I know it's one of those places you got to keep coming back to, and obviously you have to take a break when you're making a record, and then we started touring, and the record took a little longer to get out than we would have liked. I mean, there's differences of opinion, and it's not only up to you when a record comes out. So, you know, coming back when we had this tour book, just like finally we're going to go back. Didn't anticipate the shows to do this well. I mean, even before we got to UK soil, a lot of them were selling out. So it was kind of like, oh, so it's still there a little bit, you know. So we'll see what happens. I really don't know. I'll be really stoked. I mean, hopefully we can come back again this summer, and it's gonna be a lot of touring coming up. So it's not gonna be another one of those 2-year breaks, you know. Okay, I'll do negative first. It's easier to pick out your flaws than your positive points. I interrupt people a lot. Okay, interrupting. Impatient. And I'll come back to that one. So I'll do one more flaw later. Driven. I have a lot of ambition and a lot of vision of where I'm going. Loving. I have a lot of love for people. and restless, which is going to be both a negative and a positive.